Last episode, we learned just how good the Atlanta Falcons have become. With one of the best tight ends and running backs in the league, they have a dynamic offense that could overwhelm even the best defenses. And we certainly don't have one of the best this year. Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts gave our defense fits. And these two combined for 5 touchdowns and 360 scrimmage yards. Head coach Tim Cannon was cocky in the media leading up to the game, trying to fire his team up for a big second half run, and those plans entirely backfired. And now it's a legitimate question if he's lost the locker room. Team morale, quite frankly, has never been lower in this series. Could Tim Cannon be on the hot seat? And can the New Orleans Saints recover from such a devastating loss? At 5-5, the Saints' next matchup would be against the Carolina Panthers at 3-7. This gave us a chance at a bounce-back win in the division, one we desperately needed. I really wanted to see us win this game and start to get morale back in the right direction. You may remember from the end of that Falcons game when Jonathan Jones took out their kicker, and ultimately he would be suspended for that hit. And he would be suspended for the next 2 weeks, as a matter of fact. This really felt like a major tipping point for this season. We've been trying to break through this 5-win barrier now, going back to the second year. And with a shred of playoff hope still available, could the Saints turn it around in the following game against the Carolina Panthers? Blake Westbrook, 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in his rookie year. We go into the first drive of the ball game, and Jadarius Roby getting caught in the backfield. He loses 4. That's Frankie Louvu on the stop. On second down, Westbrook trouble and sacked. He has to jump back on the loose football to avoid the turnover, but it's still an ugly first possession, and we give the ball to Carolina. Bryce Young didn't have a great game the first time these teams met, but he opens with a 20-yard strike to Tutu Atwell. They quickly get into Saint territory, and here's their young running back. A good run of 14 for Doug Wallace. An immediate scoring threat with Bryce on the move, finding his wide out inside the 10. Saints fans will know Michael Thomas, of course, now playing his career out in Carolina. And Kari Blasingame, the fullback, blasts into the end zone for a quick 7-0 Panther lead. About the last way you wanted this game to start. Trying to get things settled down. Go to Chris Olave. You've got these 2 great receivers. They can overwhelm defensive backs. Garrett Wilson makes the grab right in front of star corner J.C. Horn. We ultimately face a 3rd and 10. Westbrook finds Chris Olave, and he cannot get the first down. And at this part of the field, you can consider going for it, and we do. We run, and Brian Burns shuts it down. He stuffs Jadarius Roby, and it's a turnover on downs. It just feels like we keep doubling down on being aggressive. It continues to backfire. Here is Tutu Atwell running away from Tomlinson. That's actually a matchup I don't like for Tommy against shiftier, speedy receivers. 3rd and 5, nearly intercepted. Julian Love has had a brilliant year and just missed a takeaway. Carolina ultimately goes up 10-0. We go Jadarius Roby's way. Now he gets all kinds of space when it's not a 4th down, but he rips off a very nice run. Off the play fake. That's caught by Garrett Wilson. We're up to the Carolina 43. Similar to the previous drive, we get into field goal range, face 3rd down, and cannot convert. So now a 53-yard try is an option. We go for it again. But a false start on Daniel Falele, who continues to fill in for the injured Trevor Penning. We decide then to punt. And it's a low-line drive from Jack Becker, and it might just be the best kick of his NFL career. The Panthers are knocked out at the 1. starting deep in their own territory. Bryce Young in his own end zone, looks long, and it's broken up. Left arm of Alex Sharp gets a hand on it. We do at least force the 3-and-out and get right back into the middle of the field again. Westbrook, strike outside, and Jacoby Pearman just could not keep from stepping out of bounds. We then go with play action. Westbrook to his left. Caught inside the 15. Chris Olave. But an injured Saint on the play. And not a good sight with Kendre Miller reaching at that knee. He didn't make a lot of contact on this play. A little block and release. And then at the end of his route, something's clearly wrong with that leg. And that doesn't look like something you're coming back from anytime soon. We go inside the 10. Westbrook eats this one. Good coverage by Carolina. We're dropped all the way back to the 17. Still looking to the end zone. It is incomplete for Kevin Blackwell. Coverage was good. The throw honestly pretty good. But a great play by Romeo Cooks. We finally accept the field goal. 10-3 Carolina on their next drive. It is a bubbled interception into the hands of Jabril Peppers. He cannot shake Bryce Young. Maybe a few years ago he does, but we get a rare takeaway. Tutu Atwell just can't make a clean catch and pays the price for it. Saints ball. Trying to capitalize, 2 minutes to go in the first half. Another bad throw coming on third down. And we do not send out the field goal team. Another aggressive call for the Saints. Westbrook behind Roby and incomplete. Again, it doesn't work out for us. Another 4th and short failure. The Panthers get the ball back, up 7. Bryce Young knocked away. Alex Sharp continuing to make plays. Trying to keep the Panthers out of scoring range. 3rd and 4. Nice route. That's Michael Thomas against his old team. And the Panthers would ultimately get a field goal. And the ball to start the second half, where Bryce Young is sacked. And there is Paul Redmond, who's had a bit of a quiet season. On the 3rd down, Young open, that is caught. They've had a lot of success in Carolina with tight end Jake Ferguson. He gets them the big conversion. On their next 3rd down, we dial up some pressure and make sure JOK is getting through unblocked. Had to make sure the tackle occupied the interior lineman. We get the ball back down 10. Westbrook luffs it, and Wilson gets away. Nice little catch and run here. Trying to get the offense into a rhythm. On time again, Garrett Wilson. We've done a bit better with some of the timing in quick game the last couple weeks. Then we get to Jadarius Roby. But unfortunately, this was a game where the Panthers' run defense actually showed up. It forced us to be a little more reliant on the pass. 3rd and 7. Again, they get the pressure through the interior. Derek Brown nearly sacks Westbrook. It is 4th and 7. We punt. Up 10, Carolina. Here in the 3rd, Bryce Young. It is tipped and nearly picked off. Tommy Tomlinson in the area. He's been about as impactful as you can be without having an interception. Play fake for Westbrook. More pressure. Little sidearm cross body. Just getting 6 yards to Jadarius Roby. 3 and change to go in the 3rd. Roby not able to get there. And on the play, now the young star tight end Kevin Blackwell is shaken up. And he would exit. 3rd and a full 1. Down goes Roby. They read it like a book. Jerome Baker forces 4th down. This time on our half, we decide we're going to kick. And partially because the defense had been playing so well. We had gotten into a real rhythm, and I felt confident that we could keep them from putting too many more points on the board. Defense looking for another stop. It is Wallace through an arm tackle and a 1st down. With the 4th quarter approaching, Young's throw nearly Quickly intercepted by Tommy Tomlinson. We're still looking for number 1 on the year. And ultimately, the defense does the job once again, shutting down this Panther offense. We continue to get great field position, but this middle of the field area was so tough. Third downs were not kind to us. Another failure on 3rd and 4 intended for Garrett Wilson. And as we enter the 4th, we're going for it this time. Already 0 for 2. Westbrook throws behind his target. 0 for 3. Trying to go to that second level, and we just can't make the plays we need. We go later in the 4th, same score. Screen now for Jadarius Roby, trying to get him going somehow. First down. Getting to this area of the field wasn't so much the issue. But we continued to make mistakes, and now the big one. The backbreaker from Blake Westbrook. Pick 6, J.C. Horn. Suddenly, a 3-possession game. It felt like everything was setting up for us as long as we could take those easier situations and make plays. 3rd and short, 4th and short with this talent, but we continued to fail over and over again. Oliver tried to give him one there. No Kevin Blackwell the rest of the way. 3rd and 10. Hit and incomplete again. 4th down, we're going for it yet again. So now we need 10 yards. Westbrook is intercepted. Just trying to make a play, and the Panthers are right there. 20-3 later in the 4th. Downfield shot, broken up for Olave. That's Jaquez Cunningham, another star corner they have in Carolina. Westbrook gets drilled as Oliver is certainly not helping his case for more playing time today. 4th and 10, our 5th try finally results in a conversion. Antoine Presley, the rookie wideout, makes the catch. We then get Jacoby Pierman, a little crossing pattern for a 15-yard gain. Go underneath. We try a little lateral. That's when you know the desperation has reached a critical point. 4th and 9. 6th attempt of the game. And down goes Blake Westbrook, overwhelming with the blitz. They simply won 3rd and 4th down. Blake Westbrook later takes a shot up top for Jacoby Pierman. We get a 70-yard touchdown. We just go behind the defense entirely, opening a slim window for a late-game comeback. Down 2 scores, 4 minutes left. Michael Thomas, as he did for years with the New Orleans Saints, taking those simple routes, making key plays. And then Sean Kerr, against the sloppy tackling of this defense, delivers the dagger. And the Saints go down 3 possessions all over again. All I could think at this stage is I know we are not this much worse than Carolina. And honestly, despite the scoreboard and what's unraveling here late as Westbrook is picked again, I felt like there was no way they were actually a better team. David Mayweather actually came in at the very end. He, too, would be intercepted by J.C. Horn. And after our bad loss to the Falcons, it is an even worse loss to Carolina, 34-10. And this would drop us to 5-6, sinking morale even further, losing to a team like Carolina by 24 points. Obviously, a lot of big plays swung things late in the game. If they had just gone a little bit differently, could have been a very different score. I don't think this game was much off from being like 10 points in our favor. But when we got to that 40-yard line or so, like long-distance field goal range, when you can count on going for it, we couldn't make plays on 3rd or 4th down. The big mistakes hammered us late. And now we're staring at Week 13 against the Atlanta Falcons. And on top of that, we lost 2 players in that game. First, Kendre Miller, and then the star tight end Kevin Blackwell, both set to miss 3 weeks. Hard to see us getting things on track, down even more talent, including a really nice matchup problem in Kevin Blackwell. 2 more injuries for this offense, another date with Atlanta. The approach this time around for Tim Cannon and the media was much different. Less aggressive, respecting the strength of the Atlanta Falcons, and not trying to give them any bulletin board material. It sure felt like our season was on the ropes, and one more good punch could really knock us out for good. I don't know why they had to give us 2 games in 3 weeks against the Falcons, but here is the second meeting. I knew we had to have a different plan for stopping Kyle Pitts, and you'll notice here, Tommy Tomlinson over the top. Still, Ridder finds Kyle Pitts for the first down catch. The plan was to have Tommy Tomlinson follow Pitts as much as possible. But then what do you do about Bijan Robinson? There really isn't anything you can do. We have our best players on the field. Later on the opening drive, dumped off. He's turning these simple plays into 10-plus yard gains. He's just not a regular running back. Ridder on third down, just going to work on the outside against the rookie Alex Sharp. And later in the drive, he gets behind Sharp, and with no safety help, that is a defensive play call error. We do not want Sharp in press coverage against a skilled receiver like London. The expected result happens. It's 7-0 Birds. They almost scored 50 against us in the first meeting. You know you're going to have to score a lot to win this game or even have a chance. Nice ball on third down by Blake Westbrook, hitting this pass to Jacoby Pearman. After a game where Roby really couldn't get the run game established, we go to him early. He rips off an impressive run into Falcon territory. Here is Westbrook facing pressure. He gets hit, but delivers anyway. That's Reggie Gilliam on the outside who makes the fortunate catch. 3rd and 5. Field goal range. Another failure. It feels like last week. Only we're not going to be tempted to go for it this time. We settle for a 56-yard field goal, and Blake Grupe knocks it through to make it 7-3. Now, on the ensuing kickoff, Blake Grupe sends it into the end zone. It is taken out. Running across the 20, the ball comes out here at the end. Atlanta keeps it. But what happens on this play? Kyle Pitts is out there playing special teams. He gets hurt, has to exit the game. So suddenly now, the Falcons are down maybe their best playmaker, but his replacement is rookie tight end Isaiah Hamilton, who makes a great play on his first opportunity. They then go to Robinson. He makes a move on Julian Love and just makes things look so easy. There isn't a running back we've faced that resembles Robinson at all. Ridder, after completing his first 9 passes, finally had a misfire in the end zone, and some pressure from Eric Armstead would end the drive as the Falcons were kept out of the end zone. They would get a field goal, making this a 7-point game. Saints ball on their next possession. Off the fake, all kinds of room. It's Chris Olave. Wanting Lovelock to go get in front, but that couldn't happen. Takes it all the way to the Atlanta 39. Jadarius Roby muscling ahead for a solid gain. We go to 3rd and 3. Hands off Roby, looking for the edge and not even close. And we're met with another 4th down. You bet we're going for it. We know what it's going to take to beat Atlanta. 4th and 3, caught by Wilson. It can be that easy if we just let it. The drive continues. Westbrook on 2nd down gets out of the pocket, wants it all, and should have been intercepted. Threw it behind his receiver, catches a break. Then on the third down, Chase Dan has to get rid of it. So despite breaking through with a fourth down conversion, the Saints still end up kicking the field goal. On the next Falcon drive, a big 3-and-out forced. That's Paulson Adebo jarring that ball loose. We get the ball back quickly. Down by 4, here is Jacoby Pearman. We know how dynamic he is, and he tries to make a move. But in the process, now the dynamic Pearman is hurt. It would be forced to exit and would not return. Saints ball, Roby with a hole on the right side. That's a good pickup. 50-plus yards in this first half. Clearly a different game. And then we get the rookie involved. Here's a look at Barry Skelton, the speedster, the track star, getting a first down gain into Falcon territory. Then against the blitz, we try to counter it, and the Falcons trapped us. In these situations, we often throw it right into the pressure, and that's where Jesse Bates can capitalize and be the ball hawk that he is. The Falcons take over 10-6. Robinson, he is stuffed. That's actually impressive defense. And then the Falcons jump with a false start. Without Kyle Pitts, it does seem to be a bit of a different unit. Now, their options in the passing game don't include a dynamic game-changing tight end. 3rd and 13, trying to get off the field, down the middle, Drake London. It just feels like the linebacker can never get enough depth in these cover 2 situations. Drake London's not even particularly fast or anything. He takes them all the way down to the 2. They want to run it in with Robinson. He gets stuffed by Zaven Collins. On 2nd down, they decide to throw and get sacked. James Houston makes the play. Forced into a 3rd down. Desmond Ridder can't get to London. Alex Sharp sticks with him. And we still keep the Falcons out of the end zone. A 13-6 ball game with a 2-minute drill for our Saints right before the half. Big chance here for Blake Westbrook, who gets time and then runs upfield. A big gain of 16 yards. On 1st down, Chase to his left. He heaves and finds the rookie. Antoine Priestley in for the injured Jacoby Pearman. What a play. Up to the Falcon 30. Westbrook off balance, lobs it to Chris Olave. Saints go inside the 10 with plenty of time to spare. On 2nd down, Westbrook fires, end zone, flag down. They don't signal touchdown, they don't signal incomplete. They're more focused on an apparent personal foul. But yes, it is a touchdown, by the way. Such a weird play. Ultimately, it is a Josh Oliver touchdown as he does get both feet down after running a pretty solid route, helping make up for some mistakes in the previous game. We tied things up going into halftime. Got the ball coming out of the break. 1st down, off the fake, and it's Garrett Wilson. When that play-action game is working in our favor, that's when we're at our best. Barry Skelton is in the game. We fake it to him, and there is Wilson on the comeback. That play was very close to being a deep sack. Instead, it's a big gain. We then go with a counter and more running room as Skelton shake, and he gets the 1st down. How about some of these plays from guys who are injury replacements? We get a little tricky now, looking for Skelton on this play, but instead take the bad sack at the 28-yard line. Really wanted to see Skelton catch a pass there. We go to 3rd down and 13. Westbrook protected, lofting, touchdown! Chris Olave! And our Saints have taken the lead on the Atlanta Falcons. This was clearly turning into a very different game. We were playing much better. on both sides of the ball. And without Kyle Pitts, the Falcons just aren't themselves. Nearly intercepted. That is rookie Johnny Fenderson. He knows he should have caught that one. Would have been a game-changing play. Ritter on third down. We plaster the receivers, and he can't get the first down on his own. And we force a quick punt. Now, without Jacoby Pearman, he's replaced by Antoine Priestley on offense. But on the punt return, it's Alex Sharp, who cuts left, spins away, accelerates. Sharp in the open field, makes a move on the punter, and sets us up in Falcon territory. I love seeing these young players make plays like this. Up 7 with the ball. Handoff, Roby, head of steam, runs over the safety. First down, Saints. A team with a different attitude now. Roby cutting off tackle. Get out of here, Jesse Bates. First down, New Orleans. We're eyeing that 2-possession lead. Westbrook for Oliver. And the inconsistent hands appear again. We go to third down, where we've been much better in this game. Westbrook, not gonna force it. Didn't get what we wanted there, and that ends the drive. We kick a field goal to go up 10. But even being in this situation felt unfathomable coming into the game. Down 10, Bijan Robinson with a stiff arm and a first down. They really didn't lean on him as much as they should have. First down, Ritter, caught, Drake London to the 35. With Pitts out, Tomlinson was matching up with London almost every play. And here is Bijan off to the races. Finally, Atlanta breaks through again, and Robinson leads them on a touchdown drive. Their first touchdown since Pitts was hurt earlier in the game. 23-20 in the fourth. You want to control the clock. You want to build up this lead. After a good first down run by Jadarius Roby. 3rd and 6. Patient Westbrook finally finds Chris Olave. Offensive line gave him plenty of time. At the 46. Westbrook sidesteps the rush. Turns a negative into a 7-yard gain. We go to 3rd and 3. Oliver now. It doesn't have to be the stars. They can attract the coverage, but someone's got to make the play. Up to the 41. Atlanta stacks. We go to Priestley. He's going to bounce this outside, and there's nobody home. Touchdown. They walked up the safeties. I knew we were getting a look that seemed too good to be true, because this was our play coming out of the huddle. I knew as long as nobody got through cleanly on the blitz, we were likely going to score. Garrett Wilson gave us the one block that was absolutely necessary, and Priestley can celebrate his first NFL touchdown. We go up 10 on Atlanta again. 7 and change left to go. Falcons need to act fast, and they go to their speedy receiver, Cade Haas, for the first down. I knew we weren't done seeing Robinson as well, and he breaks a tackle of JOK, nearly getting the first. We go inside 6 minutes. They toss it. For a moment, it looked like we might get Robinson for a loss, but that moment did not last long. Up to our 35. Ritter. A strike to Chenault, but broken up by Jabril Peppers. On 3rd and 10, Ritter looking for the end zone, and it's broken up by Johnny Fenderson. Atlanta forced to settle for a field goal try. They deliver the field goal. It's 30-23. That means we've got 5 minutes to try and control the clock and go back up by 2 scores. Barry Skelton handles the kick return. Barry gets a lane! Barry! Across midfield! He is gone! Everybody who had to fill in for Jacoby Pearman made a critical play or 2. This was unbelievable to see. In the receiving game, the gadget game, kick return, punt return, someone made a play without Jacoby Pearman. Back up by 2 possessions, and now our biggest lead of the game, 37-23. We want whatever Atlanta does to take a lot of time. Over the middle, incomplete. That time Tomlinson covering Robinson. Whatever it takes, right? But back to Hamilton, who clearly had not replaced the impact of Kyle Pitts, but could still make plays. Impressive catch here by Cade Haas, gets them inside the 15. And from the 8, touchdown, Cade Haas. Atlanta gets back within a score. Suddenly, another high-scoring game between these two teams. This made it a 7-point game, and ideally, we'd be able to run the clock out without Atlanta touching the football again. We start with Jadarius Roby, and he fights off that first defender, gaining 5. But we get faced with a 3rd down. The down that doomed us last week. On 3rd and 4, Olave, first down, and does not go to the sideline. We force Atlanta to use their timeouts. And at the 45, Jadarius Roby ends this game. And the New Orleans Saints, resilient as ever, pull off a stunning 37-30 upset on the road that may have just saved our season. I don't think it's a stretch to say this is our biggest victory since at least year 1. I wonder if it's not the biggest win so far in the franchise, because we failed to win the division back in year 1 and lost our playoff game. But this gets us to 6-6, and it gives us a win over the top team in the NFC. We're not going to win this division, but a wild card now is far more likely. Obviously, I think this could be a very different game if Kyle Pitts does not get hurt. But we dealt with injuries too, and we replaced those players who were hurt far better than Atlanta did. They lost one guy and were never the same. We lost multiple players even before this game, and I think it was the most resilient and one of the most fun games in the series to see all the young talent step up and for us to make plays in those key moments. If only we had been aggressive in that press conference, because we only get a minor morale boost. I thought maybe this could fix or at least remove some of the negative effects, but not much has changed. We had a bad game against Carolina, which probably brought down morale even further. This gets us a little bit higher, but it's still going to be a negative morale run for us. But I am excited now after this victory to see what we can do with kind of a second chance this year. It feels like avoiding falling to 5-7 gives us an opportunity, not just because we beat the Falcons, but because if the season ended today, we'd be the NFC's 7 seed. That means we're in the driver's seat with 5 games left to go. Our next, against the current 5th seed, Washington Commanders. And getting 6 wins also means it's going to be a better record for us than we had in years 2 and year 3. What a road to get here. 12 games into the season, we still have a chance. Everything is in front of us. Now, I wanted to talk about something before I end today's video, and I do think it might make sense to make a video going through this in even greater detail, but I'll try to be concise. I've been thinking a lot lately about the series and everything that I'm working on, and how I can really get what I want out of these series, because I love doing franchise where we're going deep into the future, rebuilding these teams, and going through that full journey. I'm always doing multiple series at the same time, so I have to spread time and effort between all of them. And as I've ended some of my recent series, I've thought about in the Titans series how we only had a couple years to really play with Trayvon Randolph. And in the Oakland Athletics series, it took me a long time to actually build a winner, and by the time I was playing with that winning team, it was basically past the real-life baseball season. Like, interest in the series is definitely lower at that point. And it's got me thinking about, how can I optimize these series and make it a better experience? And to me, one of the answers is what I did today with this video, and that's to be more willing to change up episode formats and how I'm doing the episodes. Because ultimately, giving each game its own video is going to take a lot of time. In this series especially, an episode of the Saints tends to be the type of content that takes the most time to make. And then it's a 17-game season, which you get past about week 5 or so, and you get into the middle of the year, and it starts to feel like things take a lot of time. It's now baseball season. I'm working on my new St. Louis Cardinals franchise, so really, in the best of weeks, I'm getting a couple videos in this series up, and that doesn't make for the fastest pace. In earlier years, I have done some 2-game videos when we've had like lost seasons, and it's helped speed things along somewhat in those years, and I think that was a good first step. But I'm thinking now that it makes sense to do that regardless of year. I don't believe that I need to continue making this content where every game gets its own video and is structured about the same. I think there's room to do 2-game videos like I did today. I think that if the season and everything made sense, that it would even make sense to do 3 or even 4 games in a video, although I don't think that's as likely. But I do think that I want to start experimenting more with the episodes that I'm doing. When a series is new, that's when I'd like to do as much content in it as possible and to focus on it more. So I think it makes sense that some weeks, maybe I only get 1 video out in a series, but what if that video contained more than we usually saw? For instance, breaking down 3 games into an episode and telling that story, that chapter of the story, as opposed to waiting until I can do like 3 individual videos. I feel like I have a lot of ideas for what this could look like given all my series, and I'll know better once I actually start to experiment. And that doesn't mean I don't want to do like 1-game videos. I think like there's obvious games where it makes sense. Games that have playoff implications, week 1, playoff games. I'm thinking more like, what if in a 17-game series, or a 17-game season, I did like 10 of those 1-game videos, and the other 7 were maybe in some more hybrid style format. I think there's a lot of ways I could be more efficient with my franchise, and ultimately my goal is to tell the best story I can with these teams. And I think that if I experiment and I find what works and just build upon it, that I could end up with series where we're not getting all the best players and best teams like 9 months into the project and then rushing to the end, barely getting to enjoy the team when it's there. I think ideally, we get off to fast starts in series, there are more videos, but maybe as that series ages and something else is new, then I be aware of the episode frequency I'm getting out, and then look at, okay, how can these episodes be better if I'm only getting out 1 this week and 2 next week? So I think I will be experimenting a lot more. And I'd love your feedback on today's video because this is the kind of video I think could show up a lot more often. Again, I still want to do those traditional 1-game videos, but I think that it makes sense to be open to other styles here to get us through seasons. One thing that's important to me in a series like the Saints, though, is that I do play every game. One thing that is not going to happen is simulating or slow sim, unless like the game was busted and I wanted to just go slow sim because I was so frustrated, I guess. But I want to play all the games. I'm not going to simulate any. You're always going to see those critical moments or the big plays, the things that move the story for individual players and the team. I think that I need to be more realistic about what I can get done with the time that I have, especially working on multiple series at once. And as I've made certain videos and finished certain series lately, it's gotten me to think that It's time to evolve the series a bit. And I think this is something sorely needed. But again, I love your feedback down below on if you enjoyed today's video, if you would like more like this when the playoffs come around, obviously, or some critical games that are obvious on the schedule. Those can always get the one-game treatment. I even think that certain games, we've certainly had games in the series where it's like, well, didn't need a half hour for this. It's just the usual format. Going through the game like I do usually takes 25 to 30 minutes. Some of these games could honestly be 10 minutes of highlights like we did today, and then maybe more scouting information or looking through other teams in the league. I think that I really want to experiment more, and especially here, we're late in the life of this series. We're probably 2/3 of the way or so until the next Madden comes out, and there's still work to do. I don't want to just get through 5 years and kind of struggle to get there. So that's going to bring today's video to an end. I would absolutely love your feedback on this down below. And as I continue working on things, I'm hoping I can deliver great episodes, whether that is the one-game episodes you're used to, or if I'm experimenting and finding new ways to deliver the franchise. But have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.